What if you could tap into a timeless system, maybe not just to boost your finances, but to fundamentally transform, your whole sense of purpose and achievement?
Sounds a bit like magic, right? But there's actually a classic book that promises something very close to that.
Exactly. Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take a stack of sources, articles, research our own notes, and really pull out the most important bits of knowledge for you.
And our mission today, to give you a genuine shortcut, really, to understanding a book that's shaped millions of lives, we want you to feel truly well-informed.
We really do. We're talking about Napoleon Hill's 1937 masterpiece, Think and Grow Rich. And don't let that title fool you. It's not just about getting rich in the money sense.
Not at all. It's more like a complete framework for turning any deeply held desire into reality. Could be spiritual growth, physical health, financial freedom, emotional well-being, you name it.
So our goal here is to unpack the core ideas that have made this book such a phenomenon for what, over 80 years now?
Yeah, and show you why it's still incredibly relevant, especially, if you're navigating uncertainty, trying to shore up your finances, or honestly, just want to be better informed and more successful in whatever you do.
Think of this deep dive as your fast track to the heart of Hill's philosophy. Distilled, actionable, without all the overwhelm.
Okay, so where did this whole idea even come from? It's actually a fascinating story.
It really is. It started with Andrew Carnegie, the steel magnate, richest man in the world back then.
Right, and Carnegie had this belief, this conviction that there was a kind of magic formula for massive success, and he thought it shouldn't be some secret kept by the elite. It should be available to everyone.
And he didn't just think it, he acted on it. He gave Napoleon Hill, who was pretty young at the time, this massive assignment.
Massive is right. Spent over 20 years researching this formula. Can you imagine? Hill took it on, analyzing hundreds of the most successful people of that era. We're talking Henry Ford, Rockefeller, Thomas Edison, even President Woodrow Wilson.
And what's really striking, you see this in the source material, is that so many of these huge figures, they achieved incredible things, built empires even, often with very little formal schooling.
Yeah, like Henry Ford, right. Didn't even finish high school. Yet, look what he did. It makes you question what education really means in this context.
Exactly. Hill wasn't focused on diplomas. He was talking about practical, specialized knowledge and, crucially, the mindset behind it all.
And think about when he wrote this, the Great Depression, a time of immense struggle. Yet, his ideas on things we now call networking, visualization, mentorship, they were way ahead of their time. Almost prophetic, really.
It's kind of amazing. He was talking about this stuff long before it became standard business talk.
And you can feel the book's intention to help people rebuild, strengthen their own economic future, regardless of what's happening outside. It's about inner power.
So where does that inner power start, according to Hill?
It starts with what he calls desire, with a capital D. He calls it the absolute starting point for everything, the foundation, his core idea. What we think about is who we become. Simple, but profound.
And he uses stories to make this real. The one about Edwin C. Barnes. That one always sticks with me.
Oh, yeah, Barnes. He had this incredibly definite desire, not just to work for Thomas Edison, but with him as a partner.
But he had nothing, right? No money, hardly any education, no connections.
Nothing. He literally hopped a freight train, blind baggage, they called it, just to get to Edison's lab in New Jersey. That's how intense his desire was.
Wow. And he didn't just give up when things got tough?
Not a chance. He worked there for 5 years. 5 years. Often, as Hill puts it, with not one ray of hope in the usual sense, but in his own mind. He was Edison's partner from the moment he arrived.
He burned all bridges behind him. I love that phrase. Like there was no possibility of failure in his mind.
Exactly. And the result. He eventually spotted an opportunity with the Edison dictating machine, something nobody else really believed in, and became Edison's #1 man selling it, making a fortune for himself and for Edison. It's just a powerful illustration of that burning, definite desire.
It really is. So this links to that idea Hill mentions about riches coming with little or no hard work.
Yeah.
Which sounds, well, wrong, doesn't it?
It does sound counterintuitive, but I don't think Hill meant you just sit back and do nothing. It's more about avoiding wasted effort, hard work without a clear, burning purpose that's often just spinning your wheels.
Ah, okay. So it's about the direction and focus of the effort, driven by that intense desire.
Precisely. When you have that, the work often feels less like a grind and more like flow, like you're being pulled towards the goal. It's about smart work, aligned work, not just brute force.
That clarifies it nicely. Okay, so you have this burning desire, but it needs fuel, right? What ignites it?
2 things, according to Hill: faith And autosuggestion. Faith is the catalyst. It's what turns a thought impulse into its spiritual equivalent. It opens communication with what he calls infinite intelligence.
Infinite intelligence.
Yeah.
That sounds a bit mystical. How can we think about that today?
You could see it as tapping into universal wisdom, or maybe that deep intuition, those aha moments you get when you're really aligned with your purpose. Hill points out it's a cornerstone in many religions, showing how fundamental this concept of faith is.
And this is where Hill shares that incredibly moving story about his own son, Blair.
Yes, it's deeply personal. Blair was born without normal hearing. Most people would have accepted that as fate, but Hill didn't.
He actively worked to plant the desire to hear and speak in Blair's mind. He mixed it with his own unwavering and communicated it constantly.
And the amazing thing is, Blair believed him. He internalized that desire and faith. And eventually, defying medical expectations, Blair did learn to hear and speak normally.
Just incredible. But it didn't stop there, did it?
No. Blair took that challenge, that perceived disability, and turned it into an asset. He developed a whole plan based on his unique, changed world experience of gaining hearing.
And pitched it to a hearing aid company.
Exactly. He secured a major position with them, helping others based on his journey. It's such a powerful example of turning adversity into advantage through desire and faith.
Which brings us neatly to autosuggestion. That seems like the mechanism behind Blair's transformation almost. How does Hill explain it?
He sees autosuggestion as a natural law. Basically, your subconscious mind accepts and acts on any thought you repeatedly feed it, whether it's true or false, positive or negative. This is huge.
So our minds become magnetized.
That's his word. Magnetized by our dominant thoughts. And these thoughts then attract the people, the circumstances, the resources that are in harmony with them, like attracts, like on a mental level.
It's more than just positive thinking then. It's intentional programming. How did he suggest doing this?
Very practically. Write down your definite desire. Read it aloud twice a day, morning and night. As you read it, see and feel yourself already having achieved it. Communicate it to your subconscious with absolute faith.
It's about convincing yourself at the deepest level. Like that quote, if you think you are beaten, you are.
Success begins with a fellow's will. It's all in the state of mind. That sums it up perfectly. It's about conditioning your inner world first.
Okay, this is powerful stuff. And it flows right into the need for specialized knowledge and organized planning. How does Hill view knowledge?
He draws a really sharp line between general knowledge, knowing a little about a lot, and specialized knowledge. He argues general knowledge by itself isn't very useful for, say, accumulating wealth or achieving specific goals.
So it's not just about knowing stuff.
No. What matters is knowing where to get the specialized knowledge you need when you need it, and crucially, how to organize that knowledge into definite plans of action.
Like Ford and Edison again. They weren't academics, but they knew how to find and apply knowledge, often through their mastermind groups, right?
Exactly. They knew how to gather expertise. Hill's warning here is pretty stark. The person who stops studying merely because he or she has finished school is forever hopelessly doomed to mediocrity. Learning has to be lifelong.
Continuous learning is non-negotiable then. And once you have the knowledge, you need the plan. Hill calls imagination the workshop where plans are created.
Right. And he gives great examples, like that salesman during the Depression who lost his job.
Instead of giving up, he learned specialized accounting, and then the imagination kicked in.
Yeah. He created bookkeeping offices on wheels, a mobile service for small businesses who couldn't afford a full-time accountant. He ended up earning 10 times what his old boss did. He saw a need and filled it creatively.
That's brilliant. And there's the other story about the mother planning her son's career path.
Oh, the portfolio, yes. She didn't just hope he'd get a good job. She created this incredibly detailed, almost 50-page portfolio outlining his skills, his abilities, and a specific plan for the executive role he wanted.
And it worked.
Amazingly well. It let him start as a junior executive at a salary he proposed, effectively cutting maybe 10 years off his career climb. It just shows the power of preparation and clear presentation. As Hill noted, doing a thing well never is trouble.
It really highlights putting in the effort up front, and often the best plans involve other people, which leads us to the mastermind.
Yes, a cornerstone of Hill's philosophy. He defined it as coordination of knowledge and effort in a spirit of harmony between two or more people for the attainment of a definite purpose.
So it's like a synergistic alliance. Carnegie credited his whole fortune to his mastermind group.
He did. Hill strongly believed that no single person has enough experience, education, ability, and knowledge to achieve great success alone. You need the cooperation of others. It's about collective intelligence and mutual support.
And that links to his QQS formula for selling your services or ideas, right? Quality, quantity, and...
And the proper spirit of cooperation.
Yeah.
That harmonious conduct Carnegie was so big on. It's not just what you offer, but how you work with others.
Makes sense. Now let's touch on imagination and decision. Imagination is where ideas start.
It's the workshop, yeah, and specifically creative imagination. That's where Hill believed we connect with infinite intelligence, getting those hunches and inspirations, breakthrough ideas.
Like the Coca-Cola story, the enchanted kettle.
Classic example. A doctor sells a simple syrup formula for $500, seems like nothing. But then Asa Candler adds the missing ingredient.
Imagination.
Exactly. Through brilliant marketing, branding, distribution, all products of imagination, he turned that simple syrup into a global phenomenon. Proof again. Thoughts are things. They have power.
Okay, now let's tackle a concept that might raise eyebrows. Sex transmutation. How do we understand this today without getting weird?
Right, it needs context. Hill saw sexual energy as the most powerful human drive. Transmutation for him wasn't about suppression. He was clear that's harmful. It was about consciously redirecting that intense, creative, emotional energy away from purely physical expression towards achieving your major goals.
So channeling passion and drive into your work or creative pursuits.
Pretty much. Think of it as harnessing your strongest internal motivator for superpowered action, creativity, personal magnetism, enthusiasm. He believed it was key to genius, but, he stressed, it requires intelligence and balance, not excess.
And interestingly, he noted that peak creativity often happens later in life between 40 and 60. He pointed to Ford, Carnegie, Edison. Their biggest achievements came after 40.
Yeah, that's definitely encouraging. It suggests that harnessing this energy effectively might be a skill developed over time.
Okay, so you have the ideas, the energy, what absolutely has to follow.
Decision. Firm, definite decision. Hill observed that successful people make decisions promptly and change them slowly, if at all. Failures. They do the opposite. Decide slowly, change quickly.
He even uses the American Revolution as an example.
A powerful one. The definite decision by Hancock, Adams, and others to stand up to the British, forming that correspondence committee, a mastermind, really, and ultimately. Those 56 men signing the Declaration of Independence, they staked their lives on that decision.
The weight of that. And Hill felt indecision was a huge problem starting young.
He did. He blamed educational systems for not teaching decisiveness. He claimed that the vast majority, maybe 98%, of people working jobs they don't love are there because they never made a definite decision to plan for a specific position or choose their employer wisely.
So don't wait for the perfect plan to appear.
No, make the decision first. Demand and expect your subconscious, your intuition, whatever you call it, to deliver the plan after you've committed. The decision unlocks the path.
That's a big mental shift. Okay, decision made, plan emerging. What's the non-negotiable ingredient now?
Persistence. Just sheer, unwavering persistence. Hill is emphatic. There is no substitute for persistence. He says old man failure eventually just gets tired and leaves when you refuse to quit.
A quitter never wins and a winner never quits. That's his famous line, isn't it?
It is. And he backs it up. Fannie Hurst, the writer, 36 rejections, slips before her first story sold. Kate Smith, the singer, sang for free for years before hitting it big on Broadway. They just didn't stop.
They outlasted the setbacks. How did Hill suggest building this persistence habit?
He offered 4 steps. 1, definite purpose, fueled by burning desire. 2, a definite plan, expressed in continuous action. 3, a mind closed to negativity, shielding yourself from discouragement. 4, a friendly alliance, a mastermind group for encouragement. It's a system.
That makes it feel more achievable. Now, quickly touching on the final principles. The subconscious mind, the brain, the sixth sense.
Right. The subconscious mind is like the recording device, acting on thoughts, especially emotionalized ones like faith. It's always active, so you need to consciously feed it positive, purposeful thoughts, because again, thoughts are things.
And the brain as a broadcasting and receiving station, that sounds a bit like telepathy.
He did mention telepathy research, yeah. But you could interpret it today as heightened intuition, picking up on subtle cues, group energy, maybe those moments of synchronicity or shared insight. Creative imagination is the receiver.
And the sixth sense is the peak.
That's how he saw it, the apex of the philosophy, where infinite intelligence communicates voluntarily warnings, opportunities. It's about developing that deep inner knowing, that gut feeling, to an extraordinary degree.
He even had that imaginary council technique.
Yes, meeting nightly in his imagination with figures like Lincoln, Edison, Carnegie, Emerson, absorbing their traits, seeking their counsel. It sounds unusual, but it's a powerful visualization technique for embodying desired qualities and accessing deeper wisdom.
Fascinating stuff. But before we wrap up, we have to talk about the roadblocks. The 6 ghosts of fear.
Absolutely crucial. Hill identified these fears: poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, death as the primary enemies of achievement. They cause discouragement, indecision, lack of ambition. And the key, they exist only in one's mind.
The fear of poverty he called the worst.
The most destructive, yes. Paralyzes reason, kills imagination, undermines self-reliance. He felt it stemmed from our history of preying on each other economically, and its effects were spiritually devastating.
And the fear of criticism? Oh man, that was relatable.
Isn't it? It stops us from taking chances, setting big goals, even admitting mistakes. Hill admitted feeling it himself when Carnegie gave him the book assignment. He said, "Most ideas are still born because of this fear. We kill them before they even have a chance."
So true. And worry is tied to this.
Directly. Worry is a state of mind based upon fear, and its root cause: indecision, the cure. Making a prompt and firm decision, clarity cuts through worry.
He also mentioned a 7th evil.
Susceptibility to negative influences. This is more subtle. It's absorbing negativity from others, even well-meaning people, or just letting your own negative thoughts run wild. Successful people, he observed, actively protect their minds against this.
So what's the master key, the antidote to all these fears?
It comes down to the one thing you can control: absolute control over your thoughts. It takes self-discipline, building the habit of keeping your mind focused on a definite purpose, backed by a definite plan. It's an ongoing practice.
So bringing this all together for you listening, this deep dive shows it's a powerful philosophy way beyond just money. It's about mastering your mind, your circumstances.
It really is, showing how desire, faith, imagination, planning, decision, persistence, how these can literally transmute thoughts into reality.
And Hill himself said the best way to use this knowledge
Is to put the mastermind principle into practice. Maybe form your own study group, talk about these ideas, hold each other accountable, amplify the effect.
So here's a final thought to chew on, kind of echoing Hill. If you can see it, then you can do it. If you just believe it, there's nothing to it.
Yeah. So maybe ask yourself, what's the one desire, the one clear aim you'll choose to pursue using these ideas? And what's one small step you can take today to start building that unwavering persistence no matter what?